I'm Judith Maria and welcome to SC Global News. From the disturbing hate-driven act of dumping animal carcasses at the St. Joseph's Church in Caledon, Northern Ireland, to the widespread reactions across Africa following the election of the first female Archbishop of Canterbury, we have many stories to cover. Authorities are probing a possible hate crime following the discovery of animal carcasses including intestines dumped at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Caledon, County Tyrone, Northern Ireland. Father Caledon condemned the act, calling it a criminal offence and potentially a hate-filled attack after the remains were scattered throughout the church's car park. A disturbing incident has taken place at St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Caledon, County Tyrone, Northern Ireland, where animal carcasses were deliberately dumped across the church grounds in what has been described as a sickening, hate-filled criminal act. According to Father Caledon of Aghalu and Carnteal Parish, animal intestines were found dumped across the church's car park. Expressing outrage, he called for those responsible to be caught and brought to justice. In a social media post, Father Devaney questioned the motive behind the act, asking, quote, "Why would anyone come intentionally to the car park and insult the local community in this despicable way?" He added that whoever carried out this act is in a bad place and said that the parish would pray for them. The incident has also drawn strong condemnation from local political leaders. Sinn Féin Assembly member Colm Gildernew described the act as abhorrent and criminal, targeting the parish, churchgoers, and the wider community. He condemned the actions in the strongest possible terms. Police confirmed that they received a report on Monday afternoon concerning the discovery of dumped animal remains in the Mintburn Road area of Caledon. They believe the incident occurred between 11 p.m. on Sunday, October 5th and 2 p.m. on Monday, October 6th. Authorities are appealing to the public for information and are urging everyone who may have seen suspicious activity in the area during that time to contact police. Armed groups in Kwara State, north-central Nigeria, have killed a local pastor after abducting him and collecting ransom payments from his community. Reverend James Audu Isa, a pastor with the Evangelical Church Winning All, was kidnapped from Ekati village in Patigi local government area on August 28. A pastor was killed by armed group in Kwara State in north-central Nigeria after abducting him and receiving ransom payments from his community. Reverend James Audu Isa, a pastor with Evangelical Church Winning All, was taken from Ikati village in Patigi local government area on August 28. According to locals, the abductors initially demanded 100 million Nigerian naira, roughly $67,000. However, with weeks of negotiations, the community members raised $3,300, a sum far beyond the means of the rural community. The ransom was delivered to the kidnappers, but instead of releasing the pastor, the armed group demanded an additional 45 million Nigerian naira. But before any further talks could take place, the pastor was killed. The pastor's killing has left the people of Ikati village and surrounding Patigi emirate in shock. The killing comes amid a surge in kidnappings across Kwara North, where farming communities and travelers have become easy targets of the abductors. A few days before the pastor's death was confirmed, a police officer named Esra was abducted in the same local government area. According to witnesses, he was returning from duty on a motorcycle between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. when gunmen ambushed him and a colleague. The officer riding behind managed to escape, but Esra was captured and taken to an unknown location. Eyewitnesses described the attackers as heavily armed. The wave of abductions have extended beyond travelers. On September 30th, two brothers were kidnapped while working on their cassava farm in Bokundi Sambufu, a village within Lafiagi Emirate in Edu local government area. Residents say the rising number of attacks in Edu and Patigi has instilled fear, preventing many from working on their farms or using major roads. Security analysts point out that the rural communities in north-central Nigeria are increasingly being targeted by armed groups demanding ransoms from already struggling families. Often these payments are made with no assurance of safety, leaving victims exposed to continued violence. As of now, no arrests have been made in connection with the killing of the pastor or any other abductions in Kwara State. Hamas militants in Gaza fired a rocket towards southern Israel during the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, triggering air raid sirens in native Hazara and several other border communities. No casualties or damage were reported, and the IDF said its air force likely intercepted 2 additional rockets from northern Gaza.
As Israel approaches the second anniversary of the October 7 attacks, Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip fired a rocket towards southern Israel. According to the Israeli Defense Forces, the projectile triggered air raid sirens in native Hashara and landed within the border community. The incident occurred during the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, just a week after Yom Kippur, when Hamas had previously launched five rockets toward Israel. The recent barrage also set off sirens in the Lachish region, including Ashdod, though no injuries or damages were reported. Earlier, the IDF stated that its air force likely intercepted 2 additional rockets from northern Gaza. Air raid alerts were issued across several border communities, including Kafar Asa, Saad, Mephalism, and the Near Am shooting range.
Israeli hostage families have urged the Norwegian Nobel Committee to award President Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, praising his role in securing the release of hostages held by Hamas and his broader peace efforts. The appeal comes amid ongoing Israel-Hamas negotiations in Egypt based on a 20-point plan announced by Trump, though experts remain skeptical about his chances of receiving the prize. Israeli hostage families have called on the Norwegian Nobel Committee to award US President Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, citing his efforts in securing the release of hostages held by Hamas and his broader peace initiatives in the region. In a letter sent to the Nobel Committee, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum praised Trump's determination, stating he made possible what many said was impossible. The forum emphasized Trump's commitment to not rest until every last hostage is returned home and highlighted his comprehensive plan to release all remaining hostages and end the war. They asserted that over the past year, no leader or organization has contributed more to global peace than President Trump. This appeal coincides with high-stake negotiations between Israel and Hamas in Egypt based on a 20-point plan announced by Trump. While Trump has publicly expressed a desire for the Nobel Peace Prize, experts remain skeptical about his chances, noting that his claims of resolving multiple conflicts in recent months are likely exaggerated. Faith is reaching new heights in the northeastern city of Crato in Brazil. A 51-meter statue of Our Lady of Fatima is set for inauguration on November 13, 2025. It is poised to become the world's tallest Marian monument. More than a record-breaking structure, it symbolizes the deep devotion that has shaped Brazil's spiritual and cultural landscape.
The Diocese of Crato announced that a 51-meter statue of Our Lady of Fatima is set for official inauguration on 13th November 2025, marking it the world's tallest statue dedicated to the Virgin Mary, according to Alatea. The monument crowns the shrine of Our Lady of Fatima complex in Ceará State. The structure, assembled from prefabricated sections, connects Brazil's Marian devotion to the global story of Fatima in Portugal. Local reports noted that this year also marks the 72nd anniversary of the original Fatima pilgrim statue's visit to Crato. The visit, an event that greatly influenced the community's faith traditions, left a lasting mark on Crato. Officials explained that while the monument will welcome tourists, its greater purpose is to serve as a beacon of belief and devotion. Church leaders emphasized that the shrine complex includes a chapel and pastoral facilities to ensure it remains a place of worship rather than spectacle. A diocesan spokesperson reportedly described the statue as a sign of enduring faith built into the very landscape, adding that it reflects Brazil's continuing effort to make belief visibly present in public life. As cited by Alatea, religious observers see the towering monument as a modern expression of Brazil's monumental faith, a structure meant not to compete with city skylines but to lift hearts heavenward.
Pope Leo XIV is said to have a special care and interest for Africa, with hopes that he may visit soon the continent. Speaking at St. Teresa Calamoni Catholic Parish's Family Day in Nairobi on Sunday, Archbishop Hubertus Van Meegen, the Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya, highlighted Africa's pivotal role in the future of both the Church and the world.
The Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya, Archbishop Hubertus Van Meegen, stated on Sunday that Pope Leo XIV has special care and interest for Africa. He spoke during the Family Day and the 25th anniversary of St. Teresa of Calamoni Catholic Parish in Nairobi. He noted that the Pope's African ancestry strengthens his bond with the continent and its people. Archbishop Van Meegen explained that Pope Leo's mother has Spanish and African roots, while his father is of Italian and French descent, and he described the pontiff as truly our Pope, especially for African faithful who can relate to his diverse heritage. He emphasized that Africa is the future of the Church and the world, encouraging local Catholics to embrace their role as fathers, mothers, and youth on which that future is built, and to show that world the continent's potential. The nuncio also said he plans to meet the Holy Father in late October to renew his invitation for a papal visit to Kenya, nearly a decade after the last papal trip. He added that Pope Leo XIV has long expressed affection for Kenya, particularly through his close ties with the Augustinian community in Nairobi and other local church groups.
In Kenya, faith and devotion took center stage as more than 50,000 Catholics gathered at the Subukia National Marian Shrine for the country's annual National Prayer Day. The nation was formally dedicated to the protection of the Blessed Virgin Mary, with bishops calling for unity, peace, and hope amid growing social and political challenges.
The bishops of Kenya dedicated the country to the protection of Mary, Mother of the Church. The dedication took place on October the 4th during the annual National Prayer Day held at the Subukia National Marian Shrine in Nakuru, Kenya. Archbishop Maurice Muhatia of the Archdiocese of Kisumu and the chairperson of the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops led the prayer, entrusting the country to the maternal care and intercession of the Mother of God. Over 50,000 Catholic faithful, clergy, and religious gathered at the shrine for Eucharistic celebration presided over by Archbishop Anthony Muharia of the Archdiocese of Nyeri. The prayer day focused on the themes of peace, unity, and reconciliation as the country prepares for the 2027 general elections. Archbishop Muhatia read the pastoral letter from the Conference of Bishops to the youth, urging them to find hope and purpose in their relationship with Christ. The prelate encouraged Kenyan youths to draw inspiration from the recently canonized St. Carlo Acutis to pursue holiness. Every year, the Subukia Marian Shrine, also known as Kenya's National Marian Shrine, draws thousands of faithful who seek the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary for personal and national intentions.
The Achilles Silvestrini International Prize for Dialogue and Peace will be awarded to the priests and sisters of the Incarnate Word serving in the Holy Family Parish in Gaza. The recognition honors their extraordinary witness of faith and solidarity amid the devastation of war. As they remain unable to leave Gaza, Cardinal Pier Battista Pisabella will accept the award on their behalf at a ceremony in Rome attended by church and civic leaders.
The Achilles Silvestrini International Prize for Dialogue and Peace will be conferred on the priests and nuns of the Incarnate Word serving at the Holy Family Parish in Gaza. Established in 2022 in honor of the late Cardinal Achilles Silvestrini, the award recognizes individuals and communities that embody the values of dialogue, reconciliation, and human fraternity. The citation announcing this year's award highlights the priests and sisters' courageous service, stating, quote, "In a city besieged by hunger and destruction, the priests and sisters of the parish serve and protect hundreds of displaced and destitute people, women and children above all, offering an extraordinary witness to solidarity and peace," end quote. As the religious community remains confined to Gaza, Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, will receive the honor on their behalf. The award ceremony, to be held at the Villa Nazareth University College Theatre in Rome, will be attended by religious and political leaders, including Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State. A group of Palestinian youths from Gaza will also participate, and the event will conclude with a musical tribute by composer Nicola Piovani, honoring the parish's steadfast witness amid ruin and desolation. Since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas conflict in 2023, the priests and sisters of the Incarnate Word at the Holy Family Parish have cared for more than 500 displaced Gazans, including women, children, and the elderly, providing shelter and compassion in the heart of suffering.
In Argentina, the legacy of Pope Francis has been honored in a special way. The city of Mar del Plata has renamed one of its streets after the first Latin American Pope, paying tribute to his life of humility and service. The dedication ceremony, held on the eve of the feast of Saint Francis of Assisi, drew civic and church leaders who praised the pontiff's enduring message of compassion and outreach to the poor.
The Argentinian city of Mar del Plata has renamed one of its streets after the late Argentinian pontiff, Pope Francis. According to CNA, the street naming ceremony that took place on October 3rd was attended by municipal and national authorities, the mayor, the Bishop of Mar del, as well as the Vicar General. Papa Francisco Street is next to the cathedral in the city center. The date of the ceremony coincided with the eve of the feast of Saint Francis of Assisi, whose name the pontiff took upon his election. Bishop Ernesto Giobando stated that the street will serve as a reminder to people of Pope Francis's life and accomplishments. He said, quote, "To honor Pope Francis on the eve of Saint Francis of Assisi, we must consider how to engage from the center with the existential and geographical peripheries of our city," end quote. Following the unveiling of the street sign, the bishop prayed a prayer of blessing. Jorge Mario Bergoglio was the first Latin American chosen to lead the Catholic Church. He was born and raised in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Growing up surrounded by poverty and human suffering, Pope Francis lived in simplicity and always highlighted the plight of the poor, the migrants, and the refugees.
The election of first woman Archbishop of Canterbury has sparked strong reactions across Africa. The Anglican Church of Nigeria has declared spiritual independence from the Church of England, rejecting the appointment of Bishop Sarah Mullally. Church leaders in Uganda have also voiced opposition, citing concerns over biblical fidelity and the Church's stance on same-sex marriage.
The Anglican Church of Nigeria has declared spiritual independence from the Church of England following the election of the Right Reverend Sarah Mullally as the Archbishop of Canterbury. The conservative Nigerian province of the Anglican Communion rejected the appointment of Bishop Mullally as the new Archbishop of Canterbury designate on October 3rd. The declaration was made in a statement released to the press by the Archbishop, Metropolitan and Primate of the Church of Nigeria, Most Reverend Henry Dukuba. He described Mullally's appointment as devastating and said it posed a twofold threat. According to Archbishop Dukuba, the appointment reflects insensitivity to the convictions of the majority of Anglicans who do not hold sympathetically to the notion of female ordination. He also noted that Mullally's 2023 remarks in support of same-sex marriage have been poorly received among conservative Anglicans. He added, quote, "It remains to be seen how the same person hopes to mend the already torn fabric of the Anglican Communion by the contentious issue of same-sex marriage, which has caused an enormous crisis across the Communion for over 2 decades," end quote. 63-year-old Sarah Mullally is the 106th Archbishop of Canterbury and the first woman ever to be elected to the position. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Most Reverend Stephen Kazimba, also echoed Nigeria's position, saying his church does not support any departure from biblical teaching. Quote, "We are not concerned about anybody who deviates from them," end quote, he told the media.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.